Hey, this is Erich Hunter here, and I want to share with you a really cool thing about the movement of the pendulum. And I describe this in my book, Advanced Pendulum Healing. So when you're doing pendulum healing, the pendulum starts to spin. So I'll say, like, raise the consciousness of everyone watching this video to the highest level possible. And it's spinning around. And then as it spins, it's eventually going to go side to side when it's finished. So while the pendulum is spinning, it's spinning at about 1 to 2 hertz. That's the rate at which it's spinning. And what's interesting about that rate of movement is that that is the same as the delta wave in our brain when we're sleeping. So 1 to 2 hertz is the same frequency as our brains when we're asleep. And when we're asleep, that frequency of the brain wave stimulates the release of hormones like human growth hormone, which is involved with healing. So what does this have to do with the movement of the pendulum? Well, a really cool thing is that human beings are prone to becoming entrained to rhythms. That's why we love music. That's why if there's a beat, we'll start following along with it. We follow the rhythm of the day, the circadian rhythm. We follow like the rhythm. There are various rhythms that we follow, and we're just naturally wired biologically to follow rhythms. And this spinning of the pendulum at about 2 hertz is a rhythm. You are establishing a rhythm. So what my hypothesis is that as the pendulum is spinning around, one thing that it's doing is that your body is getting into that rhythm with the pendulum. Then when the pendulum goes side to side, you and the pendulum have become entrained. And entrainment means that you're both at the same frequency. So the example of this too, they have scientists have studied clocks where 2 clocks are moving, and then eventually, like, they start off asynchronous, and then eventually over time the 2 clocks become synchronized. And that's because when an object like a clock is moving, there are sound waves that are being sent out, and those sound waves cause entrainment so that the 2 clocks will move at the same rate. The pendulum spinning going on the clock will move at the same rate. And I think the same thing is happening when we're doing a pendulum healing with a person. When this pendulum is spinning around, it's going at around 1 to 2 cycles per second. That's about 2 hertz. And we become entrained with that if our conscious intention is to do a healing on somebody. And that person who becomes entrained with that, their brain will start resonating at a different wavelength. It will start going in these delta waves. Now, that sounds like a really far-fetched hypothesis. What is some evidence that could support this? Well, one thing is that if you do a pendulum healing, especially if you do an in-person healing where the pendulum is directly over the person you're doing it, you'll often find that by the end of the healing, the person is very sleepy, and they may even want to fall asleep. Some pendulum healers themselves report to me that while they're doing the pendulum, they're getting tired. And I believe it's because of entrainment with the rhythm of the pendulum. So if you're doing a self, if you're doing healings on people and you're getting tired, you might want to consider not like looking at the pendulum. That might make it a little better so you don't get sleepy. But if you do get sleepy, don't worry about it, because those delta waves are really good for healing. So you're kind of giving yourself a self-healing as well. Well, I hope this was interesting. I've never heard anyone ever talk about this before. And I wrote about it in my book, Advanced Pendulum Healing, which you can find on Amazon.com or through my website, pendulumhealing.com. And yeah, please post your questions and comments below about movement of the pendulums or entrainment or anything like that. And I will see you soon. Have a great day. Bye.